to Funky Town. Let me take you to Electric Avenue, or the Rose nightclub. So today we are going to take a look at Marvel Heroes, now known as Marvel Heroes 2015. We're going to take a look at one of the newest heroes on the roster, and that is Korean Fuse superpower chick. It's Rogue. So here she is in her 90s outfit, which is actually not the default, but you might get fooled by that because most of the Rogues do seem to run around in it. This is actually her default, which is modern Rogue, where I kind of really like to... Hey, Firestar, wow, that's a little close there, chick. I mean, by all means, you two can go at it, but it's a little close and creepy. So that's her, and there she goes again. That's funny. So her Marvel Now outfit, I like to call it the Days of Future Past outfit. Anna Paquin used this outfit in her, 30 seconds of screen time that she had in this movie, and I feel like Firestar is just giving me nuclear massages. So, here she is. She has relics, rings, she has fitted gloves, sleek bodysuit, sleek belts, light boots, and sleek jackets. Durability 5, strength 4, fighting 3. I think the fighting should be higher. Speed of 2, and energy of 4. I think that should actually be down at 3, and intelligence at 3. I think the strength and the fighting should go up 1, honestly. I mean, it's Rogue. So, let's take a look at her powers over here. She has 3 trees, of course, and 2 of the trees are similar. And then there is the leftmost tree, which is Marvelous Physique. This is where a lot of her brawling and physical strength abilities come in. Draining Punch, which is her default. Aerial Onslaught, Cree Charge, and Vaulting Uppercut. So there's the Cree Charge, her standard movement. Lots of heroes have that. Here's her Uppercut, and this is her Aerial Charge. They're kind of tough to pull off effectively. The uppercut, you really have to walk up to somebody and see, like, I looked at that car there and it seemed close. 2 of your really, really good openers is the charge into the Aerial Onslaught, or the uppercut.
Ain't nothing more fun than breaking something that ain't yours.
Into the Aerial Onslaught. They're a little tougher. Aerial Onslaught's really good for AoE though, at least for physical damage. Then you have Steal from Friends and Steal from Foes. Steal from Foes really needs to be renamed Steal from Bosses. That's only what you're gonna steal from. Drain Life is in this tree. Drain Life is a fairly default attack you get at level 1. You do this, you can hold it down. It drains your spirit and restores health, kind of like a little bit of like the opposite of a life tap over there. You just find an enemy and just spam it, and at the cost of your spirit, you can heal yourself up. And then these are ability slots, and then you have Gloves Off, which is you rip your gloves off, prepare for a brawl, gaining additional offensive powers and causing all of your attacks to drain life. So these are slots of stolen abilities. When they unlock, you put the generic form in your bar and you walk up to something and hit the hotkey, and then you have it stuck. So I have Gifted Engineer, which is a passive from Shocker. I have a 30 to maximum spirit, a restore 3.4 spirit per second when you're not using spirit powers, and I have a favorite here from Elekto. I love this ability. It's a AoE stun, sort of like what he does. Awesome. So I've only grabbed 4 boss abilities so far. Black Cat, Shocker, Elekto, and Green Goblin. Green Goblin and Black Cat were passives. Shocker is shockingly, haha, no pun intended, a passive. I didn't think it would be. but it is. And of course the Electro is an active. Now for friends, you can snag friendly heroes and you can snag your team-ups. Firestar is a really nice one to grab, but I didn't like it too much. And the reason why is it's a 12-second cooldown. It's basically a Warlock's Hellfire from World of Warcraft. It's on a 12-second cooldown timer, and you just basically drop fireballs on the screen ahead of you. From Storm, I get this nice little slowing blizzard over here, which I really like. Jean Grey, I have that psychic explosion that also acts as a black hole. A really, really nice lead-in for a lot of enemies is to drop the freeze and then black hole people into it. So, let's see if we can find some people to do that to. I kind of missed. Alright, so we'll do that.
You in the ground.
And then second one, which is fun. Another one you can do is to drop the stun and then black hole people in stun.
This ain't your business.
And then black hole them while they're stunned in there. She does have a pretty solid pickup capability also. But I really like her stolen powers more than I like her physical powers. So going back, you have a signature here in Recall Overload. You recall the powers from several mutants you've stolen from in the past, Bishop, Storm, Magneto, and Gambit, and you combine their abilities. I think I remember Bishop was from the Days of Future Past cartoon back in the 90s X-Men. Obviously Magneto was in a movie and that was forced on her. Storm and Gambit I don't recall, but I don't follow these guys in the comics, so I'm sure there was probably a moment in the comics where she did it. I just don't know about it. Her final form, you recall powers from fellow X-Men, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Angel Colossus, and Psylocke. Man, her and Psylocke would be a wicked combination. Wolverine, we saw that in a movie. She had to do that to get his healing power. So a further look over here, she has Flight like Iron Man, Kree Resilience, which is a passive, Rubble Slam, and Southern Belle, which is an AoE taunt. I really think her fun is going to come from her stolen abilities. It sort of appeals to the...
Watch out! Gas stones!
That was funny. I like that. It kind of appeals to the Pokemon collector type personality, you know, I do tend to be drawn to hunter classes.
Hungry
when I
fella,
play
ain't ya?
MMOs, especially
Too hot
when
for
they
ya?
have pets. One of the characters that I really ever settled on in World of Warcraft. In the beta I had a rogue and a warlock and I ran around like
Take 'em out!
for a while, but when the game went live, I did a Tauren Hunter. And there's just something about, in WoW, you know, getting rare pets and everything like that. To me, that's represented extremely well here in Rogue, because you go around experimenting with powers like, ooh, I'm going to go ahead and hit this person, what am I going to get? I'm going to hit that person, what am I going to get? It's really a lot of fun. Some of the ones that I've seen so far in terms of friendly, because you have way more friendly ones that you can get, because you have to wait for bosses for the enemy ones. From Colossus you get a turn on, turn off passive that I think is just a lot of resilience. Captain America and the Green Goblin ones are very similar. They are a bonus to physical attack and physical resistance. The Johnny Storm's got a little bit of a fire-based one. Firestar we talked about. Gamora, I hit her, but I don't really recall what it was. It was a passive. I think it was just an increase to damage or an increase to damage when somebody's low. Deadpool is a regen, which is kind of what I expected. Jean Grey is that lovely thing over there. Emma Frost one was disappointing. You're only really going to want to get Emma Frost passive if you're running Jean Grey's AoE. You get a bonus to mental attacks and mental resistance. Wasn't too impressed. I kind of thought it might be
Thought you'd be tougher.
that we would get, like, you know, one of her AoE trauma kinds of things.
You going down?
So let's see if we can experiment around with some of her physical a little bit.
I ain't scared of you.
So here's her aerial There's but it killed them, so it didn't knock them up.
You'll never take me alive.
So as you can see, the uppercuts, it's just a little hard to pull it off exactly.
Ooh, it feels good.
Aside from when I need to restore spirit, I would be much more
I can't let you get away with this.
to do her AoEs, her stolen powers. And it could just be because I some stolen powers that I really, really like. I really want to change these. You know, and I'm level 11 and I've already found 3 powers that I just don't want to mess with. That shocker I'm gonna get rid of. Well, I'm gonna clear it out and see what I get from the next boss that I encounter, but these other 3, I really don't want to get rid of them. I love them. Hey, it's Black Cat again. Oh wait, you know what? Let's clear the shocker. And you clear it by right-clicking it, and let's put it in her handy slot. This way, it's ready.
You were a fool to challenge me.
Ooh, Doc Ock. Yeah, let's see what Doc Ock gives us. Alright, so we're gonna get close. It's a passive.
I'm way with you.
Just wouldn't have the same oomph right now.
No, not when I'm so close.
I can't believe
Well, all right.
I hate dealing with magical garbage. Always so hard to hit. Finders keepers, baby.
So, let's see what we got from Doc Ock. Genius intellect. Once you've absorbed the memories of Doc Ock, his extensive knowledge of science and engineering allowed you to enhance the radius and potency of your powers. Restores spirit per second when you're not using spirit spending powers. Damn, it's kind of the shocker again. Well, alright, it's a little bit, you know, actually a little bit of synergy with my other powers that I've stolen over here, considering it's a plus 75 damage to... Alright, it's not horrible. It has some good synergy with what I've already stolen, but still, I don't like the pass.
People are desperate for your help.
I like the active ones a little bit better. However, this one from Doc Ock, it's not too bad with the 3 that I have slotted right now. You probably couldn't ask.
I've had
for a
men
better
wrapped around my
passive
finger
one.
before, but you pose a very literal challenge.
That sounded like Emma.
Good to see you here.
too sure if you can grab... I don't think you can grab friendlies.
Sometimes I can touch your steel and nothing happens. I'm starting to like you, Pete.
Stay out of my head, Emma.
That's an interesting pet over there. I don't think you can grab any abilities from heroes that are NPCs. Like, I don't think I could get anything from Iron Fist over here, or Vision, or Adam Warlock, or anything like that. Although I will say, you're gonna have, with these rogues running around, you're gonna have to get used to rogues coming up to you and maybe fondling your ass for a few seconds. They're probably experimenting. I would like to experiment with the She-Hulk, but I have Storm and Jean, and I don't want to give them up right now. And you cannot hit another rogue. If Rogue in Marvel Avengers Alliance like hits a generalist, she gets ubiquitous power, but you can't get any rogue on rogue sucking over here. So, all right, let's see. Physical defense, 27 damage, health, steel power, slot 3 at rank 3, grants vaulting uppercut, grants flight, grants steel power, slot 2 at rank 4. So steel power, 3, 4. So, big bump in defense, a little bit of a return damage, big bump in health, flight I don't care about, grand steel power slot 2, which I already have. I think this belt's going to be better. Let's see if it opens up a steel slot over there. Ah, yes it does. Alright, so, let's see what She-Hulk gives us since she's right over here. Let's drop this down. And let's go ahead and H that She-Hulk. Oh, that's a boss one. Darn. Okay, so much for that. That is a boss one. A little less. I think the friend ones seem to be pretty good. Her signature is the Recall Overload. Our final form, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Angel Colossus. I think you see this in the trailer when she's running around with Archangel's wings. So, should people get her? Should people avoid her? Well, I'll tell you who I've picked up since they've been released. It's piqued my interest. Moon Knight and Taskmaster, I picked them up. I've picked up Psylocke, and I picked up Star-Lord. Star-Lord, I heard some people say some good things about, that he's a soloing beast. I'm not that far advanced in him yet, so I really can't tell. I think Rogue could be a soloing beast, but those are the ones I've picked. I've avoided Silver Surfer. I've avoided Invisible Woman, mostly because of that stigma of her being kind of awful in Avengers Alliance. She's good now with that air pressure ISO, but I just really think of her as just weak, and her utility's kind of poop. I think Rogue is worth a purchase. I think if you are like me, that has some fond memories of the late 80s, the 90s cartoon, the X-Men series, I definitely think she's worth it. I feel if you are a fan of that old show, she's worth it. I've liked everybody in that show except for Jubilee. Whenever people like, oh, you know, when are we going to get Jubilee here? When are we get Jubilee here? I'm like, why? She's a mall rat with Bret Hart shades that flings sparkles and fireworks at people. Yes, I've heard of this vampire Jubilee, and supposedly she got a little bit more badass there, but I would want to see tons more heroes over Jubilee. But Rogue, I pre-ordered. When they announced the pre-sale on her, I was like, yes, give it to me. Go ahead and give me that stash. Give me that alternate. See, look, all the rogues are in the 90s outfit. You don't see too many. There's a stock rogue, but look. Right now, it's 3-2. And throughout the day, especially when I was on earlier, yeah, it pretty much was 90s rogues. That's who was running around. And, yeah, I would definitely say she's a purchase. She's fun. If you are that Pokemon-y type that likes to,
Kurt,
collect things,
your humor and
if you
grace
if you
lift
play
us
a
all.
hunter in MMOs, if you enjoy collecting type games or going out and finding rare things like find a rare pet, find a rare Pokemon, yeah, Rogue is the one. If you're a completionist in Marvel Avengers Alliance, yeah. If you're a thinker who likes to do interesting things and maybe think outside the box a little bit, I think Rogue would appeal to you. I find her physical tree boring, but I find the stealing trees to be a lot more fun. And, honestly, get the 3 that I've got. Get that Elektra one, get a Storm, get a Jean Grey, and I think you'll really bump up your AoE damage. You get a lot of control. You have got a slow, a stun, and a black hole, a suck in. So, yeah, I would say she is worth a purchase. She's a lot of fun. I think her stats are a little off. I think her strength and fighting should be a little bit higher. But if you can put up with the occasional Southern Belle quips and insults and everything like that, she's a fun hero. And I would probably put her in second behind Emma. Psylocke is close. She might be a little bit of a tie. Ooh, that rogue's doing a nifty ability. That was kind of cool. Wow. I wonder if that's a passive from somebody, because that's not... That's... Wow, is that a teleporting passive, maybe? That's kind of cool. Because I don't think it would be anything... It's not going to be flight. That was really neat. And that was an impressive visual, too. So, yes, I would say Rogue is a definite purchase, and she is a lot of fun. She can easily be a mix of physical combat and potentially some AoE, and I think you'll eventually be able to tailor Rogue the way you want with what you grab. And I'm sure there's probably a wiki or something out there that tells you what she gets from everybody, and might be worth looking into. If I could find it, I'll put it in the video description. So, take care everybody here on G for G, and enjoy this look at Rogue in her 90s outfit and a modern outfit. Stay tuned everybody.